Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with Jewel D. How you doing? Now y'all, I'm about to talk about the cool housewife, Mary Cosby story, or her alleged story. Check me out, Listen to me very carefully. Now, from the beginning, I used to recap the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Well, I stopped recapping it because I started working, so I started having to reduce my shows that I recap, and then hell, y'all ain't watching them no way. So there's that. But I decided to come on, even though y'all may not watch, and give my own little, not recap review, but more so my own opinion on how I feel about Mary running the club. Let me just say this, in my opinion. Shout out to Tamra Judge. I'm not religious. I don't do church. I don't do anything that has any religious affiliation whatsoever. And I'm going to tell you why. And I think I've gone over that before, so I may be also biased. But I don't do European religion, because history has awakened me, and this history, these are facts, has awakened me to how the African became Christian, right? So we come over on slave ships, and the first thing they do is drill in our heads, earthly slave, obey your master, right? So people will say stuff like, well, you know, they might have taught us in that way, but God is different. He's separate from what they taught us. Wrong answer. Because they are teaching you from the same biblical teachings that they drilled into our head during slavery. And we did nothing different other than separate the churches. That's all. They just didn't want us to go to church with them, so we made our own churches, just like we did with D9, so forth and so on. So that's why I had to introduce myself as a non-religious agnostic person, because I do believe in spiritual balance, okay? So that makes me agnostic, because I'm not an atheist. And that's where a lot of people get confused, because they think if you don't believe the way they believe, then you must be an atheist. No, I believe in the higher power within. And that's an innate higher power. Innate means comes to you naturally. Outside of that, you are taught. Anything that you are taught is not innate. Innate simply means it comes to you naturally. And you naturally have a spiritual connection to the earth. You have a natural spiritual connection to the wind, water, the elements. You know what I'm saying? So that's neither here nor there. That's my explanation. So that's why I want you to understand that when I talk about this, you're going to see some of my beliefs trickle in to how I feel about Mary. Okay, so let's start out with Mama, okay? Because we're going to go down the line with how I'm going to do my observation. So Mama starts the Pentecostal church in Salt Lake City. She's in Indianapolis, and she says, wait a minute, hold up. I'm not getting what I need. I'm not being fed here. So what I'm going to do is trek across the country by foot, and then by whatever donations I get, and then she ended up in Salt Lake City, which is amazing. That's an amazing feat, seeing as how only 1% of the population in Salt Lake is black. And that's probably the other couple of percent or whatever, or part of that percentage is probably athletes. Let's just keep it 100. So she starts the Pentecostal church in a majority Mormon city. state. Period. So let's think about this thing. Y'all want to investigate somebody as a cult? Lisa Whitney and all the ladies from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, y'all gone somewhere. I don't want to hear y'all, because y'all can't talk, right? So step aside, class. I'm not going to address them. Get back to mom. So mama started a Pentecostal church in Salt Lake City. So she thrives in this, and she's a very special woman. I could tell just through watching this documentary or mockumentary or expose, whatever you want to call it. I could tell that she had something special about her that made people draw to her. You see, the thing about that is, love or hate Mary, she has that same thing. She has the thing, the I and the T. It's what it is. Some people have it, some people don't. And so whether you think she's evil or not, or she's running a cult or not, she has the I and the T. So let's address Up and Adam, Sherelle, and the journalist that was on the show. Child, bye. All three of them. Them Sherelle world ain't shit. Okay? So I ain't never liked her. Well, I take that back. I used to watch her show. And then she became kind of, I started to see her for who she was. I started to see how she was handling the situation with Melody from Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I see, and we all do that, right? We all have our biases, but at the same time, there's a certain level of professionalism that comes along with what we try to do as content creators. And when you just elicit your bias in it, and you still don't open yourself up to the possibility that these people may be lying. Like, she did an all-out crusade against Melody, saying that she was running a cult as well. It's almost like she's the fucking one that's running a cult, because she's so obsessed with making it seem like people are in cults. Up and Adam did an interview with Mary's mother, Miss Kazare. I may not be saying that right, because excuse me, I think she married someone of some type of Spanish descent. Maybe he's Mexican, and they do have a pretty good Mexican population in, excuse me, because I'm still stuffy, in Utah. Okay, so I think it's Kazari. Okay, he did an interview with Mary's mother. Every person that speaks of Mary, and I'm just gonna break it down, and y'all gonna see what I'm saying, seems to have some type of jealousy. They seem to have wanted her place in this church. Okay, mama, like I said, spiritual, has this very, very addictive personality. If that's the case, you could say that mama started a cult. Because first of all, she's in this town, Pentecostal, and whether we believe it or not, most black people are not Pentecostal. We're Baptists, Southern Baptists, or Baptists, or whatever. So when we deviate from the Baptist church, we have biases there. Ding. Surprise. So she still started something that was not of a majority of black people in America. But we're waking up, though, y'all. We're waking up to the BS, dealing with religion. Ooh, I'm so thankful. We're getting back to our roots. The roots that they told us were evil, those roots. So, with Mary, mama dies, right? She has a sudden illness, dies real quickly, only the age of 65. My dad died at 64, so that's still young, And so they say the Enochs. So we're going to talk about the Enochs, then we're going to talk about the Cosbys. So the Enochs are members of the church, and they start to notice that Mary is forming a bond with Robert. Now, also keep in mind that Mary was married at the time. They say Mary was a troublemaker. She did a lot of things against what Mama believed. And apparently they excommunicated her from the church. So let's keep that in mind as well. So the Enochs tell the story about how Mary got them to thinking that she was God. Y'all, I never heard that in these teachings. When you say, I am he and he is me, you're just saying, and I don't know why these people don't know that, you're just simply saying that you are of God and God is of you. And if you believe in any religion, that's not cult. That's not cult at all. That's what your Bible say. So the preacher or the spiritual leader is going to say things like this because that's how they were taught. That's how they were taught through the Southern Baptist Church. Whatever religion you practice or whatever denomination you practice, everything goes right back to the Catholic Church. And this is a lot of things that people don't understand. You could tell these people that did this documentary were well researched in Mary, but not well researched in how American religion works. If you want to know how American religion works, come on in. Come on over here, and I show it to you and break it down. And I can break it down by denomination. So everything tracks back to Catholicism in America, and a lot of Protestant people do not understand that the Protestant church is a breakdown from the Catholic Church. All the beliefs are the same except for the fact that you call your leader a priest, and then you have an intercessor, and the priest does the same thing that the preacher does. Supposed to send your prayers and your beliefs and your spiritual beliefs through that person to God. So right there, that's not called behavior. That's what preachers do, behavior. That's the origins of the Protestant, and I'm calling it from the top. That's the origins of the Protestant religion. Yes, the Pentecostal denomination falls under the Protestant religion. So you can X that out. That doesn't make her a cult. That makes her doing her damn job. Shout out to Rob. Do I think Mary is greedy as hell? Absolutely. And I'm going to get to that. But the way these people are talking, and the way they give gifts, and the way they gave gifts to Mary, and this guy Cameron, and the way that was brought to the show, all of that, and I think that's why Mary was able to come back to the show, it's bullshit. Because when you give to the church and you tithe, because Cameron has saved up all his little tithe, and y'all, I felt bad for him dying. I did not feel bad for his connection to Mary, because his connection to Mary was of his own volition. And every person on this documentary, she didn't make anybody do anything. That's another thing you have to recognize. She had no power over these people. Every person that was willing to follow her direction did so on their own. I never once heard Mary say, like Jim Jones, follow me or you'll die. Follow me or you're going to fall in the lake of hell. I never heard her say that at one time. That's how cult leaders do. Shout out to the Mormons. I've told the story of the research that I have done on the Mormon religion, besides the fact that I had a Mormon Bible. So I've broken that down in other videos. Go back and look at some of my Salt Lake City videos. And I also took up for Mary on those videos. Because the only thing I can see in Mary that's different from her and any other spiritual leader is that she is, yeah, I agree, greedy. And who ain't? You been seeing. You seen what his name? The one that shut the doors. I used to listen to his, I had his album, but I can't think of his name. But you know who I'm talking about. Is he different from him? Is he different from Marvin Winans? Any other Winans? Different from Yolanda Adams? The ones who, Kirk Franklin? I told y'all one time, I said, look, Kirk Franklin said he'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. Let's put it to the test. So is Mary any different from any other religious leader? Or religious leaders, let's ask this question. This is the question I want you to answer in the comment. Should religious leaders live like paupers in order to satisfy you as far as they taxes them? They don't have to pay any taxes on any money that they receive. So should they live like paupers? Especially if, like Mary said, and I believe her, could I really live off a 200-person church when Mama left me all these other businesses that's up under this church? I promise you, by this documentary, it barely touched on the other business. I was waiting to hear about the restaurants. I was waiting to hear about Mama's radio station. Yes, they showed footage of her in the radio station, but let's hear about how money was generated through all these other businesses. They concentrated on that church. And that's where I was saying to myself, I was like, I was like, that's a small church. Mary is worth $5 million. So the word on the street is. If that church was generating that much money, I don't think that she would be worth $5 million. I would think that she maybe 100,000 there. But I've seen, I would, look, listen to me, Linda. I was a part of a mega church when I was into religion. I was a Methodist at the time. And ain't nothing that I hadn't been, so I could tell you about all of them. And then every last one of them I researched. And that's why I can give you breakdowns of every last one of them. From Islam on down. Okay? Especially NOI. Islam. Okay? So you talking to somebody that's well-versed and well-rehearsed on what the hell was going on this video. And again, in my opinion, Mary was not doing anything that any other religious leader doesn't do. All of them asked for tithes. Okay, now what's different? Especially in the Pentecostal church, they leave their bodies and jump, yell, and shout. How's that occur? See, the thing was, and I have explained before, when you are Mormon and you are in a place where those other religions dominate, of course, Pentecostal or that sector is going to look different to you. Mormons. It's only one thing there. Of course, that's going to look different to you. That's just like if a damn Mormon lived here, where I live. It's going to look different because just about every damn body is Southern Baptist. So the equivalent or what's very similar to the Pentecostal church in Mississippi, where I'm from, is the Kojic church. They do the same stuff. Run up and down the aisles, jump, yell, shout, play the and you know they dancing around and they leave their bodies. Well, you know, Mormons had never seen that before. Then you have Mary's cousins. Oh, they got to break down every damn bad thing they ever heard of or ever known about Mary and Robert. Do I think it's creepy that Mary married her stepfather, grandfather type figure? Yes. Mary was 3 years old when she met this man. They have a 20-year age difference, and then Mama and Robert had a 20-year age difference. So you didn't think nothing was creepy about mama marrying that 20-year younger man? And she was. Do I think that he's a master manipulator? Absolutely. Robert, what the hell that got to do with Mary? Mary, to me, was just as much as a victim of Robert's as anybody. Did she see dollar signs? Absolutely. Like I said, do I think she greeted? Yeah. Do I think a lot of spiritual leaders or religious leaders are greeted? Absolutely. Like I said, let's put those ones to the test that say they'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. Let's put them to the test. Because Kirk Franklin ain't broke. Okay? Creflo Dollar ain't broke. That one who be putting people out of the church in Texas ain't broke. Are those cults? Is Yolanda Adams in a cult? Top 10. Anyway, as I was saying, go look around there and see where Yolanda Adams stay. What kind of house she live in, get vacations and stuff she take. Jamal Bryant. A lot of these mega church leaders, Eddie Long before he passed away. And he was a pedo, allegedly. 5. Okay? I don't hear none of y'all up on the TV talking about they in a cult. But Mary, it's like it's been, since Mary came onto that show, it's like it's been up in Adams. His main goal was to bring her down. I guess because she's liked. And for me, while I don't consider Up and Adam a racist, he does have racial biases. Because in my opinion, he has never, and I have never seen him break down a housewife like he break down Mary. Do I hear him talk about other housewives on his channel? Absolutely. But do I hear him doing exposés and appearing in exposés? Just me. I've been watching him since Mary came on this show 5 years ago. And now it's all out there that Mary didn't come back to the show because they were exposing the cult. No, she didn't come back to the show because that Asian lady who was harassing her. Because what her words were this. And I remember what she said. She said, if you don't know how to treat me, and if she can come to the reunion, then I'm not coming. Because I feel uncomfortable around her because she threw a damn glass at my foot and almost cut me. And nothing was done about it. I put this show together. Did that show need Mary? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is Mary quirks and irks nerve-wracking? Absolutely. Does she say things that's out of order and out of line? Yeah, so do they all. I saw, and I'm about to close because I ain't got nothing to say about it. Did I see anything specifically lean up to this woman running a cult in this video, from Mama to Robert Jr. even? To me believing that she was in a cult? Absolutely fucking not. Because if you research religion like you're really supposed to and not be just a blind sheep follower, then you will know she's not doing anything any different than any other religious leader. All of them, every last one of them, say things to you to manipulate your mind mentally in order for you to get them taxed. They talked about the Heave offering and how they needed to raise $100,000. Look like she invested it back in the church. Because if you look at this season, you will know that she has done a lot of upgrades to that church. What's wrong with that? The only thing that I can pinpoint that y'all would be suspicious about her is that whole, you stingy. You only brought me 14 cards. I'm going to tell you something. Round here, a pastor received over $10,000 for his pastor anniversary monies. And the only thing I heard him say was a thank you, right? My point is that most of them receive, in my opinion, questionable money. Do I feel like they're supposed to live as paupers? No. Do I feel like that all this tithing and foolishness is a money grab? Absolutely. Because if you go to your Bible and read your Bible, like us, they call us sinners that, that really don't know the Bible, us heathens, the heathens that don't believe, quote unquote. If you go to your Bible, you will see that tithes and offerings is supposed to be food, clothing, and shelter donations. Because how can a spirit thrive off of financial donations? Answer that question before you start to judge Mary. Is Mary a bad person? I don't know. I don't know her like that. I don't know those other people to be good people. Why everybody running to their side? The Enochs and her cousins. To me, again, with the cousins, if they could have been, and especially that white lady that's married to Danny, if they could have been in Mary's situation, you damn well don't believe that they would have took it. That's what Mary's mama's problem was. When she marched all those people out the church, she felt like she should have been in Mary's position. So it's a lot of envy going on. You don't think that Mary's mama or one of those because mama said Mary one of my girls. You don't think that he just wanted a young tender. That's what it was with him. You don't think that he would have chose? They wouldn't have chose to be with him, so it wouldn't have been any different, would it? Had he chosen Mary's mama or one of the other sisters in the family? Since I didn't get a BMW, Mary's sister was talking. You think if she had chosen her, think if he had chosen Mary's mama, one of the other sisters, they wouldn't have jumped at the chance to get with old Robert? Robert had his choice. He had his pick of the litter, if you will, with those sisters and the daughters. Sick? Is it? Yes, maybe. But had it been Mary's mother, it would have been her stepfather that would have been married to her instead of a step-grandfather. Is that different? No. Up at Adam, you know damn well Mary's mama would have jumped at the chance to marry that rich man if she could have. Because every last one of them knew that the only way that they were going to get to mama's inheritance is if they married Robert. Because that's the way she had it set up. And that's my belief. That's what I'm sticking to. And as if watching the show, watching this documentary, watching these people trying to bring Mary down in a very unserious, silly kind of way, even though the documentary was pretty decent. Do I believe that Mary, like I said, do I believe she greedy? Absolutely. I can't say that if I knew that I wanted to keep monies in my family, I can't say that I probably want to marry old boy. Can you say that? Can you guarantee if you had a $5 to $6 million fortune at the palm of your hand that you want to marry old grandpa? Do I think he was somewhat maybe a little abusive to mama's adopted children? Absolutely. Did he go too far? Absolutely. But do I feel like he was trying to lead them in a keep them off the streets type of stuff? I believe that as well. But see, my theory and my understanding is, it appears to me that the only two people that has profited off of mama is Mary and Robert Sr. And now in my opinion, now that I've heard all the rest of them talk, Mary's sister, Danny and his wife, and all the adopted children, the people of the church, it appears to me that the maid, cousin maid, I think I remember her being on the show, that said she wasn't paid. It appears to me that every last one of them could have been in Mary's place with Robert. And I believe what no other content creator has said is that they would have jumped at the chance to do so. Even though Mary is in that position, I would have hooked their asses up to a lie detector if I was over there documenting and say, hey, are you just a little twinge jealous of Mary because Mary knew how to get in Robert's britches and get him to marry her? And it wasn't you. Think about that thing now. That's why ever since this show has come on, I have never judged Mary for marrying step-grandpa. Like I said, disgusting to me. Yeah. But again, a $5-6 million fortune in my grasp, I'm honest. I don't know if I want to marry grandpa if mama said, hey, come here. If anything happened to me, I want you to marry step-grandpa and you get all the spoils. All these people judging her. They had to come at this mess like this was a cult, knowing damn well that her religion ain't no different than any other religion in America. Asking for money, being greedy. Child back. That I'm going to close. Come on in. Come on in. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button, and you will be notified when I upload a video. Do I like Mary? Absolutely. Do I think Mary is good for the show? Absolutely. Do I think Mary is running a cult? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, comment, subscribe. And as I do when I close, I'm going to chunk them up. Deuces.